Okay, we're back for part 2 of systems of inequalities and, well, inequalities and systems of inequalities. So we're going to do both in the next couple of steps. So let's start with just demonstrating that how to solve for y in a systems of inequalities and what that does to the sign. So in this problem, the thing that I'm really looking for is that can you solve for y, and then do you know what to do when you divide an inequality by a negative number? Okay, so we'll start off with subtracting 5x from both sides. Okay, and you got 0 there, and you got negative 3y equals, not equals, common mistake right there, not equals. Okay, negative 3y is less than negative 5x and negative 12. You cannot combine those together to be like negative 17x or 7x or anything like that, because they're not like terms. This one has a variable next to it, this one does not, so you just write them right next to each other. Then you divide by negative 3. Okay, and if you remember from first semester, if you divide an inequality by a negative, you have to flip that sign. You got to change that sign. It changes the order of everything. So we have y is greater than 5 over 3x plus 4. Okay, so negative 12 divided by negative 3. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, and that's it. Done. Okay, so in the last video we talked about our graphing of inequalities and like how to identify your slope. And remember, we started off with the y-intercept and then we moved based on the slope. Well, we're going to do the same thing here, except now I'm asking you to go the other way. Okay, I've given you an inequality, I've given you a graph of an inequality, and now your job is to come up with whatever the inequality is down here. So like y equals whatever it is. Okay, so first off, I've given you kind of some directions here. I want you to find the slope, I want you to find the y-intercept, and then we're going to pick a test point. So it's kind of the same procedure. Why does this keep popping up? Okay, it's kind of the same procedure. And then, yeah, okay, so we have our y-intercept here. We're going to find that first. Our y-intercept, sorry, I had to get my mind back where it was going. And our y-intercept is right at 2, okay? So our y-intercept is 0, 2. All right, and then our slope, I'm going to look for where we're crossing here. So it looks like it's right about here. Let's just verify that that's pretty much right. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to say that it's up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1. So that would be a slope of 4 over 1. All right, and so now we need to write our inequality, and we have y, and I'm going to leave this open for a second. And the reason I'm going to leave it open for a second is because we don't know which way that sign is facing. So we can put our slope in there, and we can. I wouldn't care if you wrote it as 4 over 1 or if you just write it as 4x. Either way works for me. And then plus 2. So now we've got to figure out what's going to happen here. How do we figure out which way this sign is shaded? Well, you could take a chance and just guess. Or you could pick a test point. Remember, test point 0, 0 makes things work out kind of nicely. It makes it a little bit small. It makes parts of the problem go away with the 4x. And so we have 0. 4 times 0 is 0. And then we have 2 there. Okay, so I have 0 and 2. And 0, 0 should be true. So I need to write the inequality sign here to make this true. So 2 is larger than 0, so my inequality sign should be facing this way. And this is a solid line, so there should be an equal to sign under it. So that means I can take this guy and put it right up here. There's my inequality. Okay. All right, next up. Okay, Miss Orr has forgotten to finish the problem by shading. Help her finish by shading the correct region. Okay, so great. So we have line B here, right there, and we want to pick a test point for line B. And so I'm going to pick 0, 0 again, and we're focusing on this line now, all right? So there are 2 inequalities here, right? So this is what we call a system of inequalities. In the last chapter, we had systems of equations. So system meaning that there's more than one, right? So we can substitute in 0, 0 here. So we're going 0, 0, and we're going to end up with 0 is less than or equal to 3. So is 0 less than or equal to 3? Yes, that's true. So for line B, we're going to shade where it's in the true region for just line B. Okay, I know that I'm writing over line A. Well, we're not working with line A right now. We're just focusing on line B. And it's shaded here. Okay. All right, next up we're going to do line A. So now we're ignoring line B and we're only focusing on line A, and we're going to pick 0, 0 again. So we have 0 is greater than or equal to -1. Is 0 greater than -1? 0 is greater than -1. That's true. So 0, 0 is true once more. So we're going to focus on this line and we're going to shade the region where it's true for 0, 0. All right. So now we know where the solutions lie to this system of inequalities. Okay, so where the lines are overlapping, double overlap. So we can see that I have a double overlap right here. This is our double shaded region, okay? So anything in this region right here will work for both line B and line A, okay? Anything in this region right here where there's only one set of lines will only work for line B. And this region up here will only work for line A. And then this region up here where there's 0 shading at all won't work for either of them. Okay, so double means it will work for both. Single, it means it will work for one of the inequalities, and the other single will work for the other inequality. Okay, so this is done. All right, so now it's your job to come up with graphing the inequality here. The system of inequalities, essentially it's the next step of this one, right? This one, we just asked you to shade it. This one, we're asking you to graph it and shade it. So we'll start off with the x is greater than 2, okay? So we're going to start off at x. I like to do these problems. I look at this problem and I go, okay, so x, it's telling me that x is 2, right? So I'm going to say 2, 2, 2. And then I'm going to just go 1, 2, 3. Because it doesn't tell me anything about y, so I'm just going to make up my own y's. And so we could say x is 2, y is 1. X is 2, y is 2. X is 2, y is 3. Okay, so now I've got a line going up and down, right? So I know that this line is going up and down in this direction. And it should be dotted. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I've got a dotted line there. Not sure if you guys can see it. I'll try to make it a little bit darker. Okay, I'm getting close to the end here. I want to try to keep my video under 10 minutes. I know you guys have attention spans that aren't the best, and that's okay. You're what, freshman in high school? So I have 0, 0 here, and we have x is 0. So I'm picking 0, 0 as my test point. So I want to know, does 0 work here? Is 0 greater than 2? Oh, finally we get a false statement. 0 is not greater than 2. So this side is false for 0, 0, which means we don't shade this side. If this side is false for that line, we shade the other side. So this side is going to be, boom, shaded over here. Great. So we're shading on this side of the line right over here. Okay. Next up, we've got our final line that we actually have to graph for this one. And then we have, looks like we got 2 more problems to go. Okay, so start off at -2 here. This is where we're going to start off, -2, and my slope is -1 over 2. So I'm going to go -1 over 2, -1 over 2, and it should be a solid line. My pen is kind of running out of ink here. See if I can grab a new one real quick. All right, and then we're going to pick 0, 0. Okay, so 0, 0 again, and we're going to say 0 and 0 times -1/2, doesn't matter, it's a fraction, still goes away, is less than or equal to -2. Is 0 less than or equal to -2? Yes, we get another false statement, which means we shade the other side. Okay, so we're going to shade in here. So here's our double shading. Again, so this tells me that things in this region work for both inequalities. Things in this region only work for this inequality. Things in this region only work for this inequality. And in this region where there's no shading at all, it works for none of them. All right, next up. We want to name two solutions. Well, you're looking for the double shaded area. That's this guy right here. And so 0, 0 is a solution on this one because it's in that green shaded area. Okay, and then you're going to name another solution, and you might say that 1, 0 is a solution. Could you say this one is a solution? Heck yeah, you could. You could say that negative 1, 1 is a solution. Now, you don't have to give me more than two solutions on the test, but I'm just saying you could pick anything in this region, and it will be a solution for that. Okay, write the inequality that describes the situation. Two numbers that add up to at least 13. Two numbers that add up to at least 13. Okay, so two numbers that we don't know what they are. So how do we represent numbers that we don't know what they are in math? We represent them with variables. So our first variable could be, I don't know, x. Great, that's a number. Okay, that represents a number. And then another number, two separate numbers, right, could be y. And we need to have them add up to at least 13. Okay, so could it be 14? Yep, 14 is at least 13. Could it be 15, 16? So it's greater than 13. So we need this to add up to be greater than 13. Okay, but it also says at least 13, which includes 13. So we need to make it equal to 13. And that's it. Okay, so if you guys have questions, let me know in class. I can give you some more examples in classes. Again, this is just the review, quick rundown. You do have another review that you should be working on and using this as kind of notes and a guide for. So good luck. Thank you.